Greetings, Broadway babies. Wait a minute, I don't usually say that. Something's different about this. Oh, no, not a dream ballet. No, we don't have time for a dream ballet. Nobody likes a dream ballet. Please, just, move along.
I love dream ballets!
It's a choice.
Oh, I've settled. Oh, greetings, Broadway babies. Hi, I'm Emily.
Sounds familiar. I'm Jeff. What's up?
Yeah, and we are here to talk about the latest episode of Schmigadoon, episode 5, Tribulation. So Jeff and I have been reviewing every episode of Schmigadoon as they've come out, so make sure you check them out.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be posted all over the place. We're both musical theater performers. I am going to grad school to be a musical theater historian. Jeff's done a lot of stuff. We know musicals pretty well, so we want to break down every single Golden Age musical reference in the latest episode.
Heck yeah, we had some fun in this episode.
So make sure you like the video, make sure you're subscribed to Stealing Focus for all things musical theater history related. We love new subscribers. And we've been getting some new ones because of the Schmigadoon reviews. So,
really? Yeah, it's got to be popular. They're doing a great job
tell
with
your friend. Wait, us? We're doing a good job?
No, not us.
Thank you so much. We are doing such a good job
the
in our
people
reviews
actually
of
making.
Schmigadoon.
There's gonna be some tribulation and strife. Oh, we've got strife. And tribulation.
So like we said, this episode is episode 5, Tribulation. And if you saw our review of episode 4, we talked a lot about the songs and how they're obviously inspired by a bunch of different kind of musical theater styles at the time, but there's no direct parallel. This episode, it's completely the opposite. The two new songs in this episode have direct parallels to very specific songs from the Golden Age of Broadway. So the episode starts, as it always does, with a flashback to Josh and Mel's relationship, and they have a conversation about whether
it's Doggy Dog.
Is it Doggy Dog World or Dog Eat Dog World?
We've had ever since Snoop Dogg's song in the early 90s, people have been making that mistake, their confusion or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's right. Dog Eat Dog doesn't make sense either.
It's so funny because I've heard that Doggy Dog World joke kind of across a few sitcoms. I think it was on Modern Family or something. The way they handled it was really cute. It kind of set up what's going to be kind of going on in the rest of the episode.
Yeah, just really, really good writing. I'm really impressed with this, just the script in general.
I did really enjoy the part where they're talking to their dog because the dog had the same eyes as our dog.
A little bit like Charlie. Just a
like
bit.
Charlie Bones, who's lying in his little...
Don't get up. You're going to be jingly.
So then we are shot back to the present where Mel is still, shacking up with Doc Lopez.
Oh, yeah.
And she takes her shoes off, and he's like, oh, you're such a free spirit, which is really cute.
So funny.
And they have a little reprise of Suddenly. That is very much, the something good from The Sound of Music, like we talked about in the last episode. But they do start off a dance, and the dance is very much the beginning of Shall We Dance from The King and I. And then it goes right into a waltz as opposed to a polka, which is, what they do in The King and I. But that was nice. And then we are introduced to our latest character, Countess Gabrielle von Blurkum.
That's like a Mel Brooks name right there.
Von Blurkum, yeah, Blurky for short. And it turns out she is very much our Baroness Schrader from The Sound of Music. Mel comments on it very directly. It turns out, guess what? She's always been his fiancé, and he's fallen in love with the help. And Mel says, I have a feeling that you're going to graciously step aside because we're in love. And Jane Krakowski, of course, looks amazing, and she's so funny in this scene. She's very kind of holding in her rage, I guess you would say.
I mean, she's doing that thing she does so well. It's right in her wheelhouse.
Yeah, and it reminds me, there was that kind of faux article a few years ago about how the Baroness's engagement to Captain Von Trapp has been called off because he fell in love with the help. I think it's a McSweeney's article. I need to find it. Mel's not wearing shoes, and she's like, oh, what fun! No, they're so weirded out by it.
Let's get some shoes on you.
Yeah. So that was really funny. Oh, then we cut to Josh and Emma Tate, and little Carson having a picnic. And Carson's very cute. He's like, sarsaparilla soda! And he's like, you're such a sad sack. It's very cute. They get into a little conversation, which I think is like a subtle musical theater reference. I feel like it's not a Broadway musical if there isn't some moment where someone's like talking about how great New York is and like how it's the best place to be. And he definitely had that. He's like, New York is something special. Enough. That's a pretty common thing in Broadway musicals. Not just in the Golden Age, but kind of across the media itself.
Yeah, it's built in. It makes sense that New York is celebrated so much.
Oh, yeah. Emma gets scared off when Josh brings up the idea of Carson's parentage. Oh, he says, like, it must be hard being a sister and a parent.
Yeah.
And then she gets really flustered and they go back to the school. And I was really happy to see this because there's been this long understood kind of idea that the subtext in The Music Man is that Winthrop isn't Marion's little brother. He would be Marion's son.
Right.
With old miser Madison, Uncle Matty. Uncle Matty, as she called him. It's never said in the show, but it's kind of, I think it's an apt reading of it, because why would this kid, she's old enough to be his parent, Marion is. And,
it's an old trope,
and
too.
she's already kind of looked around in town as someone who was having an inappropriate relationship. So I think the subtext is there if you want to play it up.
Yeah.
Broadway revival with Hugh Jackman that nobody needs. I love The Music Man, but no one needs it.
Well, you get a feeling that in those old-timey days, people knew the truth, but they would rather believe the lie just because it was better for everybody.
Well, in like the movie in the original production, like they never play up that subtext. It's never even brought up. So who knows if Meredith Willson even intended it. So that idea is brought up, and Josh goes chasing after Emma Tate.
Yeah.
So then we get finally we get our Chenoweth number.
Yep.
And wow. Did they really go all out with this? So it's the title of the episode, Tribulation, and it is beat for beat a recreation of
Lyle Lanley singing about a monorail.
Mono, don't!
It's beat for beat a recreation of You Got Trouble from The Music Man. First of all, I think that's so subversive to have Kristin Chenoweth doing a patter song because she doesn't really do it very much. She's kind of known for her operatic stuff, and if she does do pattery stuff, it's like, I don't know, like Glitter and Be Gay. So I was really excited to see her in kind of the Harold Hill role because they really set her up like she was going to be kind of one of the biddies, like the Eulalie McKechnie, like one of the little ladies in the town. I thought, if anything, they were going to do like Pick a Little, Talk a Little. But she has this whole number basically doing the same thing Harold Hill does in The Music Man. In You Got Trouble, he's creating a problem that will benefit himself.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how there's a pool table in town, and a pool table is going to lead to all this other crazy stuff.
With a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool.
It starts with them like scattering some peanut shells on the street, and then she's like, look at this, it's a mess, and then
like
it snowballs. Well, she does all those great things that he does in the song, like kind of rattling off a lot of words that sound like nonsense words, even though it was like kind of 1910s slang.
Got loud mouth trash with her tummy rock, flap, doodle, crack, trap, fiddle, faddle, jiggery, pokery, stirring up the cream while we're waiting for it to settle like vermin in the root cellar.
They were trying out Bevo, trying out Cubats, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette fiends, and bragging all about how they're going to cover up a telltale breath with Sen one fine night.
We have to just stop and give Cinco Paul credit for this.
And Ken Dario.
Wonderful songwriting.
Cinco Paul and Ken Dario are creators of the show.
Wonderful songwriting. My God, it's so good.
This episode is written by Allison Silverman, and she has a lot of good credits, including like Kimmy Schmidt and Portlandia. But one of the coolest things they do is also, I'm pretty sure it's all one shot.
Yeah, it's one
we
shot.
Watched it twice, and it's not like a big action film. Like, we've been watching Loki like everyone else, and they have that amazing shot where it's made to look like one shot, but there's so much CGI, you can't really do it in one shot.
Yeah.
This, they're obviously on a set, and there are moments where they pan in really close. They must be like just, I really think they did it all practically and with one shot.
They did.
There's
Yeah,
even
I
a
think
point
they
where
did.
Chenoweth holds the Bible and it's upside down, and
Yeah.
I was like, well, they could have done
Was it a
that.
choice,
or
or-
was it just like a really good take, and they were
Yeah.
like, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's funny anyway.
It looked to me like it was one shot. Credit to them. This is the kind of
I mean,
situation.
Broadway people doing it in one take. Can you imagine?
But
It's
this is
almost like they do it 8 days a week.
This is the situation where from day one you have to have a camera person in on all the choreography rehearsals, at least like faking filming them, but they are a part of the choreo.
And it
The
goes
camera is
big
in
at
there.
the end. At the end, she's decided to run for mayor, and a Music Man style marching band comes in. You know, curtains are hanging down, and then a big banner with her face is dropped down, you know, like Citizen Kane at the end.
So good.
I really think it is all done practically, and I hope
Yeah.
it was. If not, you know, it's fine.
But that shows you how talented they are, how much
yeah.
attention to detail you have to pay to that long of a shot, that complicated of a song, and with choreo, really impressive.
It's a testament to the performers,
really
to
is.
Chris Scatelli, the choreographer, and obviously just everyone involved. Like, it was beautiful. I love it.
Great.
What a great send-up of a really famous musical theater song. And Chenoweth, of course, gets the high note at the end, because why do you have Chenoweth if you don't have her do a high note at the end? You
Yeah.
have to. So then we're back at the school. Emma Tate has brought Carson there to write sentences, and then Josh tells him about the Air Bud loophole.
Now, this is something that we have to really credit the screenwriter for, because I have never thought of the Air Bud loophole before, but this is genius.
Well, I mean, it's the whole idea that, like, there's the dog can play basketball because there's nothing
no
in the rules that
specifically
says
says he can't. Yeah.
Basketball references. He likes them.
By the way, where are my earbuds? I need my earbuds.
He keeps calling them his earbuds in every time.
AirPods.
AirPods. You can put earbuds in his ears.
There's no rule that specifically says I can't call them earbuds.
That's very true. Okay, so then we get the other amazing musical number in this. So Mel and the Countess are in a car. Good old green screen old movie musical or Hitchcock film car where they're just like this, and there's like barely any wind. You know, Mel's just like super super fine, just being like, well, we're in love now, and so I'm so glad you're okay with this.
Yeah.
And then Jane Krakowski gets just the most Jane Krakowski number. When you have Jane Krakowski, you have to use her in a very specific way, and she's so good at this. But she gets a song called I Always, Always Never Get My Man.
Genius lyric. I can't believe it hasn't been a song before.
And it is another one that is a direct parallel to another song. It's pretty much I'm Always True to You in My Fashion from the musical Kiss Me Kate. It's from the late 40s, and it's Cole Porter, and Cole Porter was one of the old kind of Broadway standbys in the 20s and 30s, and then he kind of was able to transcend into the golden era. And it's a great song. Cole Porter's so good at really witty, clever rhymes. He always has like 5 verses and then a bridge and then 5 more verses and then a bridge and then the song ends and then there's an encore.
Yeah.
Like, because he
stuck to that
was just
structure.
that good.
Yeah. I don't think that I've ever heard a Cole Porter song that I didn't like.
It's just like Always True to You in My Fashion. It's like I dated this one guy, and then I dated this one guy. Oh, because he was super duper rich, and if he gives me this, if I give him that, I get money. It's like that. But I still love you, baby. I'm not cheating you. I just want money. I'm paraphrasing Always True to You in My
really?
Fashion.
They're paraphrasing.
Yeah. So Jane Krakowski's song is all about how she keeps dating guys who fall for the help.
There was Tex who traded stocks, hired a girl to darn his socks. And when Texie's socks led to sexy talks, I was out on my cab.
I'm always true to you, darling, in my fashion. Yes, I'm always true to you, darling, in my way.
You know, if you've ever seen her like in an actual, I know she kind of did this on 30 Rock, but
Yeah.
you know, she has a huge Broadway career, and she's really good at playing these kind of sex pot characters who are really dancey and kind of get to vamp it up a little bit. And so she does that with her full gusto, with her leg doing the full extent.
Yeah.
She straight up stops driving and
Full on choreo in the car. Only other time
Yeah.
I've seen that is Grease Lightning.
yeah, and it's great when her song starts because Mel is like, "Oh, wait, you're getting a song?
Yeah. Well, that was one of my favorite parts because, you know, in typical musicals, that type of small character, they don't have time. You can't really have a song for them. It's the kind of song that gets cut in development when you realize you got to tighten up the story. But because they're doing 6 episodes of like more long form, you can have it.
Sometimes there is that like character who comes in like near the end of the first act, like your Maureen in Rent, let's say, who kind of obviously not Golden Age, but like comes in and like shakes things up, and then at the end she basically says like, no, I'm gonna get my man, because you got to end it like that. And then she pulls out a gun. Mel gets out and she says, "Mel,
can I at least have my backpack?"
Yeah, and Mel is like, I mean, come on, you're the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy. Yeah. And she says, "You stole my fiance. I'm not the bad guy here." Mel says, "Well, it's not explicitly stated, but you know, you could be a Nazi." And then she goes, "Of course I'm a Nazi," and drives away. It's so funny.
Clever.
You know, I've been waiting for Jane Krakowski since episode 1.
Yeah, we've been wondering.
Did not disappoint.
Did not, and neither
Another
did this whole
song
episode.
to add to my Schmigadoon cabaret list.
They are really.
I always never get
this.
my man. It's in my range. I love it. Forget it. I thought I was on the Mel track, but no. Countess Blurkey all the way. That's who I want to play. Back at the schoolhouse, Josh finally confronts Emma, and she's in the back room, and she's in front of a chalkboard, and we get more Golden Age Easter eggs because we have a list of Golden Age composers and lyricists
so we got,
all behind her.
We had Berlin.
So that we have Irving Berlin, we had Lerner and Lowe, and Lerner and Lowe wrote Brigadoon. And they also wrote My Fair Lady, you might have heard of it. And Frank Lesser, who wrote...
The Most Happy Fella.
And...
Guys and Dolls.
There you go, he wrote Guys and Dolls.
I went for the totally obscure one first.
Slightly more famous than The Most Happy Fella.
He only wrote 5 shows. I remember that was
and then the other one
much.
would be Wilson, who...
Oh, Music Man. Yeah.
Meredith Willson.
Yeah.
A guy. I've had so many students go, I didn't know Meredith Willson was a guy.
I don't think I knew that either, actually.
Yeah, he's like a triple threat. He was like Jonathan Larson. He wrote book music and lyrics to The Music Man. So.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I love that. I always love these little Easter eggs. And then, Emma gets into the fact that she is actually Carson's mother. Carson overhears this admission and he runs away just like Winthrop does in The Music Man. So it's that point in the second act where everyone's running off looking for the kid. Back with Mel, she's in the middle of... Nowhere.
Yeah.
And she finds her heart. The heart that she thought Josh lost.
Because he said, check your
was
backpack,
in her backpack,
and she hadn't checked it.
And she realizes, maybe I am the bad guy. And then the Dream Ballet.
Oh. I thought they were going to give us a
I really wanted to see one, but it was a funny joke.
I really love how, like, they're really...
They even had that girl who's kind of been front and center as a dancer. In Oklahoma, when you have the Dream Ballet version of Lori, it's always, like, one of your best dancers in the show.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of the show, she's, like, in the ensemble.
Yeah, and the same with the guy. They kind of mirror the leads, and I was I got to play Tony in West Side at some point, and I was so lucky because no way we can dance like that. We need these dancers to come in and do the Dream Ballet.
Did you guys know there's a Dream Ballet in West Side Story? There is. I don't know. I get it was funny for the joke, but I like Dream Ballet.
Well, you know, even for this long form content, they didn't quite have time for it.
No, but it was really funny. So she did the thing that they're supposed to do. We talked about the Agnes DeMille choreography in the Dream Ballet in our first episode, but that's exactly how it starts. She puts her hand up, and they kind of switch, and then the actress who plays Lori goes off, and then the dancer kind of plays her for the Dream Ballet.
Yeah. Actor has to go change for the next scene, you know.
That's the end of the first act.
Oh.
Lori doesn't change.
That's
she
right.
wakes up at the end of the Dream Ballet, and Judd's like, I come to take you to the box social.
Oh, yeah. We saw the crazy new version was rad.
Well,
that was cool.
So in the Oklahoma that bleeps, they subverted expectations by putting the Dream Ballet at the top of Act 2, having it performed by just one person.
It was really powerful.
And it was insane. It was a modern dance piece.
Yeah,
there were definitely moments where you're like, what am I... But then by the end you're like, yeah, subvert it, baby. Anyway, I thought it was really funny. And then I thought it was really funny how she said no, and then the Dream Ballet girl just kind of dropped it and just walked away. I love that so much.
They're really nailing these like little quirky exchanges.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
She did the great entrance with the arms, which is what you have to do to establish that you're the dancer. And she was in like a shimmery, like kind of version of the dress that Mel was wearing.
And we have to give it up for Cecily Strong. She's so good in this show. Like, there's...
We always give it up for Cecily
Yeah,
Strong.
we do. Of course. I mean, she's always great. But I love her... The ownership that she takes of this character is really compelling and interesting. I just want to hang out with her and, like, shoot the shit with her.
I just saw a friend of ours posted on Facebook, Cecily Strong for the baker's wife, and cosign. And then the episode ends with the return of Danny Bailey, who punches Josh in the gut and says, "That's for taking my gal." And then Josh finds his heart on the ground. And that's how the episode ends.
Yeah. Ooh, what's going to happen in the series finale?
One episode left.
Oh, my God. They have been crushing the show. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, so I'm sure... I still think the last episode we're going to get Josh to sing. It has to happen.
Yeah.
It has to be the big culmination.
Well, we got everything
his
else
character.
culminating. You know, we have all these little side stories kind of, you know, angling towards a head. You know, we're going to get the election. We're going to see the Fred Armisen and what's his name? The mayor guy, Mayor McLovin.
Alan Cumming.
Mayor Menlove McLovin. Yeah, they're gonna, you know, we're gonna see what happens with them. We're
Yeah.
gonna get all these resolutions. God, they're tying this up. I can't wait to see how they tie it up.
Okay, so make sure you are subscribed because we're definitely going to want to talk about the last episode next week.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's a solid way to end it.
Strife, 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 strife.
Well, I got
strife,
trouble, my
strife,
friend.
Strife, strife, strife.
Right here in River City.